just kind of a little insights from the news, just a real short thing here regarding the image of the beast in Revelation chapter 13. And some of us are real maybe prophecy students and others not so much, but either way, it's interesting to see what God says and see how it compares. These are last days events. And actually, what he's talking about here in Revelation 13 is going to happen after we get raptured. Hallelujah. I trust everybody's doing your rapture drills, But, like Strat's kind of weird. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get caught up to be with the Lord. Hallelujah. And then the 7-year tribulation period is going to start. The Antichrist is going to make an agreement, a covenant or enforce a covenant with Israel, 7-year agreement. And so anyway, in the middle of that agreement, he's going to, 7 years, he's 3.5 years into it, he's going to go into the temple in Jerusalem and want to be worshipped as God, and they're going to set up the image of the beast, the false prophet, the sidekick to the Antichrist is going to set up this image of the beast. And just like when Jesus came, he had John the Baptist as kind of went before him and promoted him, some would say. And in the same way, much darker, we're going to have the false prophet is going to be the right-hand man of the Antichrist. And so the Antichrist, of course, is called the lawless one, the Antichrist, and the beast here in Revelation 13. The Antichrist is referred to as the beast. And then after it talks about the Antichrist, it talks about his sidekick, the false prophet, who is, Revelation 13 calls another beast. So he's a second beast. And so we're going to look at our text here in Revelation chapter 13, verse 13, speaking now of the false prophet, so the sidekick to the Antichrist, this second beast. He performs great signs so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. And we're going to kind of zoom in a little bit, and a part of this passage here, you notice the Antichrist, there's an attempt on his life, but he ends up miraculously living. And then we look at this verse passage here in verse 14 to 15, speaking of the false prophet, the second beast. He will tell those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast. And he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. And maybe many of us have followed what's going on with artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics. It's amazing how quickly everything is advancing. They already have little robots that breathe, and they find it to be comforting when someone has certain problems in their lives. They have this little robot next to them that tells you just relax. So they have these breathing robots. They have artificial intelligence, but there's been a recent advance. It's interesting. It says the image of the beast will be able to speak. And so this will be not just like a robot with AI programming. It will be an image of the beast, a likeness of the Antichrist. So it's not just any old little robot they're going to set up in the temple. It's an image, a statue, a likeness of some kind, but it's going to be like the beast, like the Antichrist. So that's something that is going to be specific about this image that they set up. And it's interesting in the news, Mark Zuckerberg, owner of Meta and Facebook, his estimated net worth is $200 billion, one of the richest people in the world. At Meta, his company is building an AI version of Mark Zuckerberg. So when the people, and they're putting into this AI called a drone or, a clone, they're putting into this AI little clone of Mark Zuckerberg his mannerisms, his facial expressions, his tone of voice, public statements, and what he said it's going to be just like mock Mark, whatever you want to call it. And it's an image of Mark Zuckerberg. And so when people in the company, they want to talk to the boss, they want to find out, what should we do? The sales rep says, what should I do? Well, you've got Mark Zuckerberg himself giving them strategy. They can individually tap in to Mark Zuckerberg, and isn't that special? The goal of the company is for 79,000 employees to feel more connected to their boss. They can talk to him, and it seems just like him, the CEO, and they can't get direct access to him. So this clone it's also revealed that, it's interesting, not only will they make this image of Mark Zuckerberg, they're making it now, but Zuckerberg also revealed he was developing an artificial intelligence chief of staff. So if somebody wants to talk to the chief of staff, they can talk to his little AI clone, digital likeness of an image of the chief of staff. It's amazing to see how fast technology is moving. I happened to be on this website for just a business website, a particular business, and I went on there and they had a helper on there, their chat. And so it's their chat bot, I guess you call it, like a robot, little chat bot. And so to help me, and it's just nice to have someone to talk to you, and you see their face, and they have facial expressions, and it's just like a real live, looks like a real live person. In fact, you look at her hair. Notice this is a made-up image, right? But you notice that they have her hair, the part in her hair, it's like, it's not perfect where she's just, everything is just symmetrical on both sides. Her one ear is different than the other. Her one eye is a little bit, like a human being. We're not the same. One side of our face is not like the other. You see the part is, a little kapakahi, little crooked, it's like a real person. It just seems like, oh, real special. I thought it would be interesting. We'll see if we can get away with this. I'm not a teenager, but we're going to try this. So here she is. So, and bear in mind, this is on some business's website to help you with their products and find out about their business. So I thought I would just ask, and of course she has a name, I forget her name, but I did a Zoom meeting so I could record it and asked her a question, who is Jesus? I wondered what she would say. Well, listen, hopefully we can get this working here, but we'll see if we can. I'll try to get it going. Okay. Oh. Let's see. I don't know if we can try it one more time. Do you want to try, can we turn it up louder? Put the other mic next to the speaker on the... Yeah, I do, so, okay. We'll try it again, okay. I don't think it's on the TV.
Historically, Jesus was a Jewish preacher and healer who lived in the region now known as Israel around 2,000 years ago. His teachings, life, crucifixion, and believed resurrection are foundational to Christian faith and teachings. If you have more specific questions about Jesus or his role in religion, I'd be happy to help.
So yeah, central figure of Christianity and believed to be the Son of God and raised his resurrection, and he's believed also the Muslims like him that he's considered a prophet in Islam, and wants to be politically correct in what she shared. But I don't know if you could hear all that, but it was surprising, and and she blinks and she but it's like they're creating these images of. In this case, I don't know if this is a real person or artificial. They just created this person, and then whatever it is. But we're interesting times that we're living in now, and it's interesting. We'll go on. Who is Jesus? Yeah, like she would know. So it's interesting that Zuckerberg's company Meta is also installing new mandatory software in every computer in their company, 79,000 people that have computers at least. It'll track every keystroke, every mouse movement. Supposedly, this is to train their artificial intelligence. And if you believe that, I've got some land I sell you in, somewhere, Siberia. But it's reportedly sparking a lot of backlash within the company. Nobody wants every keystroke, every move of the mouse that they do. Just subtle. People, even though you're on the clock, many people think it's invasion of privacy. But soon, like the soon-to-be image of the beast, Meta will have input from the man who's in charge of everything, and then going out to everybody in the company and on the network, and they'll be able to track everything that everybody's doing. I mean, it's like a two-way street. It's kind of like the image of the beast is going to not only breathe and speak, but everyone who doesn't bow down to him, who doesn't respect him, worship him, he's going to cause them to be killed. So in the same way, we're going to have monitoring software where they can communicate outward and take track inwards and have repercussions. It's just, it's interesting. I mean, people on the job at working for Meta, it's like, well, how long was her lunch break? Did he click on any conservative websites when he was on break? Did they, they'll be able to track everything. Oh, but don't worry. We're just tracking every move you make in order to help develop our AI. Yeah, right. That's sort of like what Ronald Reagan said. The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." It's like, yeah. And obviously these things are not the fulfillment of Revelation 13. There is no image of the beast. There's no temple right now. It needs to be rebuilt. But we see the technology moving forward just step by step by step, where we can have a real Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, his mannerisms, his speech patterns, his voice, everything, his looks, it's going to be just like a mock Mark. It's like, wow. They're going to be able to set up this image of the beast. He really will be a likeness. It's not just a mechanical robot. It's going to be just like the Antichrist. And anyway, so all we need now is for us to be raptured, caught up to be with the Lord, and then for this leader to rise up and put in this 7-year agreement with Israel, and they'll be off to the tribulation. But a little reminder this morning that time is short. We're living in the last days. Look up, our redemption draws near.